Hey guys, this is Seth with BadassAttraction.com, and in this video I'm going to take you through the play-by-play attraction guide and flowchart by Josh Pelliker, author of the Tao of Badass. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find the nearest hot girl that you'd like to get attracted to you, of course. Now it's great if she approaches you, but more than likely you're going to approach her. And when you approach her, you want to first notice this thing. Does she smile at you? Now this is very important because we're going to talk about some body language. Now body language, 93% of communication is nonverbal, so body language is essential. Now if she is smiling at you, that's good. What you want to do is you want to turn your chest and your head towards her, but don't lean in towards her just yet. Okay, that's going to show that you're too eager. Now if she's not smiling at you, that's okay. What you want to do is only turn your head towards her while you chat. Don't face her directly yet with your body. Now notice if she turns to face you with her body. Now if she does, of course you like this, and if she doesn't, we don't like this, but that's okay. What you're going to do is turn your head away from her for a second and then turn back and continue. And now you want to get into some playful banter. Now playful banter is really fun once you get the hang of it. Now there's some lines here. This isn't about learning and memorizing pickup lines. These are just some fallbacks. But basically banter is content-free conversation. You shouldn't have to think about it. The important thing is to be playful and be teasing. One of my favorite examples of playful banter is from the movie Swingers with Vince Vaughn. He's talking with a waitress, his character, and he says this.
And if you tell the bartender to go easy on the water, then this 50-cent piece has your name written all over it, okay? I want you to run along because I'll be timing you. I'm going to keep time. 1, 2, 3.
And then, of course, his buddy Mikey, who's a nice guy, says to him,
"What an asshole. Maybe that was money. Tell me that wasn't money." That was so demeaning.
He says, yeah, that was demeaning. And then Vince Vaughn says,
"She smiled, baby."
I can't believe what an asshole you are.
No, baby, she smiled.
She was smiling at what an asshole
No. She was smiling at how money I was.
yeah, but she smiled and she laughed. And that's the whole point of playful banter, is just to get her smiling and laughing. Now, if she hasn't smiled once yet, then that sucks a little bit. But what you should do is try the playful banter at least 3 times before giving up. The reason is, sometimes a girl either, they just had a bad, the more aware you can be of what she's experiencing, the better you are going to be at this. So, she might have just had a bad day. She might have just, had something bad before she came in. She might just have something on her mind. And she might also be, hot girls get hit on by idiots so much that sometimes they just put up really big defenses. And you got to try a few times before you can crack the defense. But again, if it's more, 3 times, there's 3 billion women in the world. If it doesn't work after 3 times, don't get hung up on one chick, just move on. Now let's say you got her smiling and laughing. Now here's an important note. This is where most guys think that they're home free, and this is why most guys suck at this, okay? Most guys think, I got her to laugh, now she's going to sleep with me. That doesn't work that way. There's a lot more to this process. So if you continue on from here, this is going to set you apart from other men. Now what you want to do here is you want to use a takeaway to get her to chase you. So try this. While she's laughing, turn your back to her. Okay? Turning your back to a woman that's already attracted to you, what that does is it subconsciously shows her that you're used to flirting with attractive women and that you have a lot of options. So what you do, once you've turned your back, is you want to look over your shoulder and smile. Now this is essential because although you're being playful here and you're being playful, you got to smile to show her that you're still interested. Otherwise, she's going to think you aren't interested and move on, which, it'll look like you just turned away from her. So creating too much attraction is going to ruin your chances. Now what you want to do in step 3 is count to 4 in your head. You got to resist that urge to turn around immediately. I know you're going to want to do it. You're going to feel like kind of a dick at first. Try taking a couple of slow steps away from her while you're turned away. And here's what you want to notice. Is she going crazy trying to get your attention? Now if she is, then it is on. And if she isn't, that's okay too. You just want to go back to the playful banter and just repeat this process a few times, and you'll naturally discover that it's very, very fun, and you're going to start building attraction as you go through this process. Now, the next part here is optional, but this, a lot of guys, I know you're meeting women at bars or clubs, and if you're in a stimulating environment like that, and you're going to have to be basically competing for her attention. So in this case, you want to do this extra step. So this is step 4. And again, you don't need to do this if you're talking to her like at the beach or out in public and there's nobody around. If you're ballsy, you can try it, but it's not necessary. So what you want to do is turn back around and stick your hand out like you're asking for money or a low five. And if she gives you money or a low five, that's cool too. If you extend your hand, you're going to find she will give you her hand. And what you should do is twirl her around like a ballerina. Okay, twirling is awesome. It's magical. It sets you apart from other guys, and women love it. And now what you want to notice is she now officially flirting with you like crazy? And now if she isn't for some reason, just go back to the playful banter part of the chart and repeat this process, and you will continue to build attraction, and you will get to this point. So now what you want to do is you're going to get to solidify the attraction, and we call this the qualifying phase. So what you got to do is you want to show her that she's earned your attraction. Now this is the most overlooked stage in an interaction with a woman. If you do this right, she's going to be impressed. So look to see, is she bragging about something completely off topic? Now here's a note. It can be a turnoff to hear a woman bragging about her IQ and things like that. But know that she's only doing this if she's trying to win your approval, and it means that she's very attracted to you. Now if she is bragging about something completely off topic, of course we like this. Now if not, that's okay, because what we're going to do is we're going to use a qualifying statement to let her know that she's earned your attraction. Now the importance behind this is, most guys, we just walk around like, well, I have a dick, and if she has a vagina, then I like her, So what you do here, and women know that. So when you actually let her know and you create that distinction that she's earned your attraction, then suddenly your value goes up in her eyes. You're not just some schlub. She had to earn your attraction. So here's how you do this. First thing you want to do is tell her that she's different than most girls you've met. Then ask her if she knows why she's different. And third, you're going to ask her what her 3 most positive, dominant qualities are. And she's going to give 3 different types of answers. And here's a little mini lesson, okay? Her answers are either going to be sexual, emotional, or logical. Now here's how you read this. If all 3 answers are emotional, then she's got low self-esteem, and you're going to have to make her feel sexy and sexually desired. Now if all 3 answers are sexual, then she's a tease. You're going to have to build a lot of rapport and get through barriers, which it can be overwhelming. She can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, and you got to decide if you want to put in the time and the energy for that. It can also really pay off as well, by the way, but that's something to consider. And then, of course, logical. If all 3 of her answers are logical, then she's in her head. She's probably sexually closed off, and you're going to want to build lots of attraction and be lighthearted and keep up with the playful banter to keep her out of her head before continuing. Now, ideally, if you get a mixture of different types of answers, proceed forward, because these women are usually in the best headspace to get into a relationship, even an open one. Now we'll go into acceptance. Okay, now what you got to do is, no matter what she says, I'm smart, I'm playful, or whatever, once she qualifies herself to you, you have to verbally accept and approve of her for those qualities, even if you're not really that impressed. Now, this is really important, because she might say some shit that's lame. So no matter what she says, you're going to have to accept her, even if she says, I kick puppies, I'm Charlie Sheen's girlfriend, I always cheered for Apollo Creed, whatever, this is what Josh Padella, whatever crap she says, approve of it. No questions asked, if you're into her, right? So this ends the stage of attraction. Now from here on, all of the joking, the playfulness, the teasing, and the negative body language is going to stop, and the real emotional intelligence starts. And then you're getting into the stage of what we call rapport. And what I like to say, rapport is the gateway to seduction, okay? And I'm going to skip past this part here just to tell you, if you skip the stage of rapport, you're going to find that she isn't going to return your calls or texts, she's not going to sleep with you or get sexual, and you're accidentally going to creep her out, okay? Because if you skip rapport, you're a creep. So rapport is essential. You got to know this stuff. That's why, if you're watching a video and it's, I'm going to seduce a woman in 2 steps. No, there's a lot to this process. There are 4 major phases of rapport. Okay, there's light rapport, wide rapport, deep rapport, and then you release. Now, the first thing you got to do is you got to look and see, are you in a more intimate situation where you can talk one-on-one? And if you are, then that's great. But if not, here's what you need to do. You can easily move to a more private location. Just gently take her hand and say, let's go over here. And if she doesn't follow you, just walk without her and come back and build more attraction again. If you take a leadership position, she's more than likely going to follow you. And what you want to make sure is, Just move to a more private place. Don't leave your current venue. Don't say, okay, let's go to my place, because then you're going to blow it. You just want to find a more intimate location where you can talk without being interrupted. And here's where you're going to use the deep rapport formula. Now, this full deep rapport formula is much more in depth. This is a condensed version. So here's light rapport. You're going to ask her an open-ended question, and the most easy one to remember is, you just ask, well, what did you do before you came here today? And then what you got to do is, with the wide rapport, you got to acknowledge her response. Now, you can say, cool, or all right, yeah, that's cool. It's a very small step, but if you skip it, you're going to ruin the rapport. Now, you're going to go into deep rapport, and this is where you start to connect. Now, you want to relate whatever she said to something that happened when you were a kid, and this takes a little creativity, but you'll get it over time. So, like, let's say, if she says, I walk my dog, you might say, cool, I don't know how it was for you, but I remember when I was a kid, I used to feel so powerful when I walked my dog. It was almost like I was a leader for the first time. My dog, Sparky, or whatever the hell your dog's name was, right? And then what you want to do is tie it back to the current moment. So you're going to take the story and show how it has affected you. You might say something like, and now every time I walk a dog, I get the sense that I'm actually in control of my life. It's extremely empowering. Now, I know you might look at these lines and at first you'd be like, well, who the hell talks like that? That's the point. When you're talking this way, you're being intentional and you're actually generating an experience for both of you. And, it's going to sound a little funny at first, but think of how much more interesting talking like this is than if you're just a guy who's like, yeah, I got a band. Or I don't know, how guys normally talk, not that interesting. But you're actually creating, as I said, a powerful experience for both of you. And you're connecting, you're going to connect with her in this deep emotional way that's going to begin to open her up towards the next stage, which is seduction. What you want to do at this point is just drop it and start again with a new topic. So just go through it again. You don't have to keep talking about that. Just go back, ask her another open-ended question, acknowledge her response, relate it back to something that happened when you were a kid, tie it back to the current moment, and then drop it. You want to repeat this wide rapport, light rapport, and deep rapport thing. You want to do about 3 different times before you move on to seduction, which is where every guy wants to get, but few guys actually get there. And I just want to tell you, if you're listening to this, you're so far ahead of most guys, because most guys just want to learn, how do I seduce a woman? Most guys really think if they have like the right clothes or the right pickup line, they're going to seduce a woman. As you've seen, there's a process here. You can't just seduce a woman or you're going to be a creep. You got to build attraction. You got to solidify the attraction. You got to build rapport. Then you get into seduction. But even then, women are like an emotional video game, okay? So you've just gotten to like level 8, but now you got to beat the big bad boss in level 9 and 10. Women have tests that they're testing you and you don't even know it. Part of seduction is learning how to pass these tests, and that's what's in the further video training that's available when you click the link below at badassattraction.com. So go ahead, if you want to learn seduction, go ahead, click the link below, put in your email, get your free PDF copy of the play-by-play attraction guide, and then you'll get more free training videos from Josh about seduction, about mistakes that guys make when they're trying to kiss a girl, and a ton more shit that most guys are never going to know about attracting women. So go ahead, do that, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you later.